And we're live. Alright, so we're back in Satisfactory. So last time we did all of the train routing stuff to set up our heavy modular frame factory. And so now, as you can see, we have iron, we have coal, we have limestone, and we have water, which is everything we need to make some heavy modular frames. Now, the first thing I'm going to do actually is these all need to be buffered just a little bit because they are coming off of a train. So we can't... So we need the buffer to guarantee the throughput. So just put those in. And one more. And there. So that's all of those, and then we're going to need a fluid buffer as well. So let's head on over here. I don't think these buffers need to be huge. Just use regular size containers for all of them. And that should be good to go. Looks like the amount of coal that got delivered was not very high. Maybe... Okay, it looks like... Oh, it looks like the train was just in the station dropping it off at the moment. And that's why. Yeah, that makes sense. There we go. Alright, so... This should be everything. See, the fluid buffer is filling. Obviously we can see the rest of these are. So the limestone is now emptied out. But this will all get worked out because the train hasn't been running for very long. So this will all work out pretty soon. Yeah, there comes more limestone. Alright, so now we just need to start using this stuff for some factories. So, step one is iron ore and water into iron ingots. Pretty much always going to be step one. So let's get some foundation in here. And we're going to expand this out this way. Actually, we can fit this in over there on top of the water station since there are no machines over there, probably. That'll be more convenient for moving the fluid long distances, which we don't really want to do. So let's start with a good old refinery. Move it back far enough that it's not going to have any problems branching off of the fluid buffer. And we tell you to do pure iron ingots, and you do 65. So 777.768 divided by 65 is almost 12. So how would we do 60? No, that doesn't make sense. So what I think we want to do is have this use 30 iron ore a minute. So 30 over 35 times 65 is that number, because that way we can balance the ore easily. And 55.714. Just the most ordinary of numbers. So we're going to need 14 of these. And the last one won't be 100% filled, but that's fine. So let's get that set up. Do we want to blueprint this? Can we blueprint it? No, I think just placing it in is going to be easier. 1, 2, 3. Actually, iron ore refining is going to be something that we do constantly throughout the game. So yeah, let's blueprint it. Where's the blueprint designer? It's in there. So we pop that down, This is not going to be the last time we need to refine some iron ore using the pure iron recipe, so let's just get you in. How do we want to space you? Because we need some space on either side for the inputs and the outputs. So if we get 2 of these in, and we tell them 30 over 35 times 65, and then we paste those settings over. So then we have these 2, and that's going to be one batch of 60 belt speed. So we can put a splitter in there, connect those 2 up, and connect up the pipes, and then we won't have to set up this sort of thing ever again. Alright, and hopefully those pipes will work with auto snapping. If they don't, that'll be a mild concern. Alright, so you get a junction, you get a junction, and you get a pipe, and you get a pipe. Alright, and then while we're doing this, we may as well connect the 2 of them to a power line. Why is it going to want to be all crooked? So yeah, we connect the 2 of them up to a power line, just because that's an additional step we can do. And that should be good. So where is this? Actually, what's 55.714 times 2, because I need to write in how much this does. 111.428. Pure iron ingots. And it is 60 iron ore to... I forgot again. Somewhere around 111 iron ingots. And there's also some water in there, which, I don't know, doesn't really concern me. Alright, so now we just take that out. And we place in these. I forgot to do the back of them, so I may as well check my numbers, get the rest of it in to the blueprint. Alright, so we load pure iron ingots. So it is 111.428. So let's mark that down. 111.428 ingots. And 17.413, or was that 143? 34.826. No, it was 143. All right. 143. 34.286 water. 34.28. We've run out of space. 286. We're just going to have to remember what those numbers mean and clear them out afterwards. And then we just get the old merger. And easy peasy. That just goes in like that. And I think we need to do this in order to have the back auto-connect, which I do want to do, because they're all just going to be merging up. So now we can head back to wherever wherever this is. And it's 111.428 iron ingots. And it is 60 iron ore and 34.286 water. Alright, overwrite the old one, clear the designer, and we're good. Alright, so now we just go back here. And I've forgotten how many of these we need, but I think it's like 14 or something. So let's put one in. And 55.714, 777.768 divided by, well, I guess we can do the larger number, 111.428. Yeah, so we're going to need to place down 7 of those, and then the last one will have a bit of overflow, or we'll have to underclock it just a little bit, rather. The opposite of overflow. Alright, so then we set that to auto connect, and the pipes line up, the belts line up. Those are all we want. So there we go. Then we get another one. And get another one. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. And we're going to need to expand this factory out that way a little bit, and I think we should expand it out the other way primarily. We can go a little more this way, but I don't want this to go over the main road, really. Alright, so that's another one of those in. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And let's put the last 2 over this way. Alright, so expand all that. And blueprint. Alright, one more. Alright, so that should be that. And now we just need to hook the water up, and the iron ore will also hook up. There we go. Water attached. And we're obviously just going to let that sit for a bit. So then the next thing we need is we need to run a fast belt along this way, stopping at each of these locations for a splitter. And making them all smart splitters, which should be fine. I mean, it's not going to break anything. Alright, so now all of these belts have to be specifically Mark 1 in order for this to work. So these go across. Alright, then we need the main belt to be Mark 4, and then we need to set the splitters. These all go across. And there. Alright, so now we need to set this so it's left any center overflow. And then we just have to paste that to all of these. Alright. Just a couple more. And done. Alright, so that should be that. Next, we have to bring the iron around. So that's unfortunately the farthest possible belt. So this comes along this way. And there, and then in. Alright, so then that will distribute the iron along. Alright, then the outputs. So we have all of these ingots, obviously. And it's going to be 777. Oh, so the other thing we need to do is we need to underclock the last one by a very strange amount, probably. Just like incredibly marginal. So let's head over here. So, $111.42. Oh, this was 0.768. That doesn't make a meaningful difference. Cool. So we need to take this, multiply it by 7, and we get 779.996 minus 777.768 is 2.228. So we need to take 1.114 off of each of these last two to get the correct number. So 55.714 minus 1.114 is 54.6. Hey, it comes out to a nice even number. That's fun. 54.6. 54.6. And because this is the last one in the line, the splitting will work out anyways. Not that it really needs to be a problem because it's on a partial manifold belt type of thing here, but it is. Alright, so that's all that. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to get this onto two belts. One of which is 480 and the other one is the leftovers. So let's delete that. So 77, actually, no, I need to do this not in the notes but in the math. 777.768 minus 480 is 297. Alright, so each of these is 111.4, which I just deleted and I shouldn't have. So 480 divided by 111.418 is 4.3. So that's 4 of these batches of 2, which is 8 individual things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then an additional partial one. So let's dismantle this, because this is the one that has to split. Alright, so we take all that out. Then this merger has to go out like that. And then we're going to have to upgrade all of these to Mark IV belts. And then that has to become a splitter. A smart splitter, so it goes left, any, right, overflow, I think. Oh, and then I think this has to be a priority merger, which takes priority from those two and then just takes whatever is needed here to fill up the belt. And then the rest of that gets sent over that way. And then pretty much all of this is going to need to be Mark IV. I don't know exactly where it needs to start and end, so we're just going to do the whole thing. Those exits there with the pipes that don't go into anything are just like mildly stressful. Like it seems like there should be something connecting to them, but there shouldn't be. Alright, so we go there. Then we just continue upgrading along here. And done. Alright, so now we have the iron. Iron, check. Alright, so that's iron. Then the next thing is steel. So we need almost 600 steel ingots, which is going to be probably most of the iron ingots. Yeah, let's look at the steel ingot alternate recipe. Is 2 to 3. So if I make this 58.888, because that's, so this is going to be 392 iron ingots, and all of the coal, obviously, to make steel, which is a little concerning, because how do I get 392.59 off of this? I guess I can probably speed balance it, right? Yeah, so if I make these down to 30 a minute, then I can speed balance it and then grab the leftovers, merge it up with that, and then be fine. Alright, so that is a good plan, I think. So we take that belt out there. And fill in this ground here. We don't need random holes in the floor. Alright, so now this iron ingot belt needs to go up and over the iron ore belt and then back down. And it needs to meet up with the coal, which also is going to need to go up and over the iron ore belt. We're going to need some foundations over there. So that goes up like that. And then comes down. Alright, so next up is steel refining time, and I think we're going to blueprint this again. So let's just get some space for a blueprinter, because again, this is not going to be the last time we ever use steel, and speed balancing is frequently going to be the best way of doing that. So these are going to be just regular old foundries. And can we fit 3 in? We can actually fit 3 in. So that is pretty cool. Actually, being able to fit 3 in means we can do this all at max speed instead of having to underclock. Let's move these back because I'm going to want to set up the actual speed balancer itself in this blueprint. I'm just going to take some space. Alright, and then again, the back of this is just going to be a boring old merger. And it's going to need Mark IV belts. And we need to put these little bits here for the auto-connecting to work. Alright, so we need a splitter there, and I guess a splitter up there. So that goes into those 3. This one. Okay, it's going to have to go to default mode. And then down like that. And how did we get that? Just forward a little bit. And then in. Yeah, okay, that looks lined up. Alright, so then we get a smart splitter there. And a smart splitter there. And then that goes across. That goes across as Mark II belts in particular. And then this is left any center overflow. Left any center overflow. And that should be a good setup for this. Now I just need to get these belts in. Alright. I'm not sure, because I want them to be far enough back that they see each other for the auto connect, but I don't want them to be so far back that they like clip over each other or anything. So you go something like there. And something like there. Alright, then that get rid of those conveyor poles that are clipping through. And hope that the autoconnect knows what to do with all that. So then this is going to be, no, not basic iron ingots, solid steel ingots. And we get all of these. Alright. Then we get a power pole. So you go in there and attach up to those. And that is done. That's 120 iron and coal to 180 steel ingots. Steel ingots. I'll call it solid steel ingots just for no confusion. So that's 120 iron ingots and coal to 180 steel ingots. So we save that, clear the designer, and dismantle the designer. So I need not quite 600, so 588.888 divided by 180 is 3.2716. Okay, so that should be easy. We just need 3 of these. Alright, this first one could be not auto-connect because it's going to do weird things there. Then we put that in. And then we put these in, and the auto-connect looks like it works. So that's 2 of those blueprints. We need 3 and then 1 extra machine, I think. Alright, so then let's get all this foundation in so that there isn't a giant hole underneath the factory. Alright, so that is all in. And that's 2 of those, so we need a third. And just like that. So that's 180 times 3. 180 times 3 is 540. 1 machine gives 60. So now we just put in the one last foundry. And then these just go in like that, I guess. And this has to be solid steel ingots, but it needs to be what, 58.8, right? Because we have 540. No, that's wrong. Hang on. 48.8. Yeah, 48.8. So 540 from the rest of them, plus 48.8 from that one. And that's all the steel ingots we need. Alright, so that is steel production done. And then what we actually need is for this last one. Is there any way of making that better balanced? No. So this last one is unfortunately not going to be load balanced just because that seems very difficult to do. So we need to get a very specific number of iron ingots into it otherwise. But that's fine. So step 1 is connect that, connect that. Alright, so then we need to get the last little bit of iron out of this. So instead of this just being a curve, we're going to make it a smart splitter, which goes left any center overflow, because we need the rest of the iron for something, probably. And so now we have to go over and grab the other iron belt and merge it up with that. So we head over here, grab this belt, and around it goes. And it can just go along this way. And then when it gets to around here, it goes up. Goes over all of this. Looks like I may have accidentally curved it. I don't want it to be... I don't want it to be curved like that. whatever happened there. I want it to just be a nice, normal, reasonable belt. Which I seem to have failed at again. Alright, so we connect that in. Alright, it's straight mode causing problems again, as usual. So we're just going to go back to default mode, go over all of that. And then back to straight mode, I guess. And then we go all the way over this way. And we need just, I think a regular merger works here. Because that was like 392 iron. So 777 minus 392 is less than 480. So that's fine. I don't even know what we're using that iron for, to be honest. Hopefully it's not just a math error. It would be a shame if it were. But I doubt it. I think I was pretty careful. Oh, I might be doing iron wire. Yeah, I bet I'm doing iron wire. Because I'm not using copper. Alright, I guess that will be the next step then. So we have 533.333 wire that we need to make. And actually, hang on, I just had a thought. So I have all this steel and all this iron. Now, I'm going to be turning this into things that go into machines, and I would like to have it well balanced to begin with. But, I don't know. Let's just keep working forwards like this. So we need... Yeah, because the 533.333 wire is going directly into 10 machines. So I would like that to be in 10 wire making machines if possible. And it's definitely not possible. Alright. Let's look at that. Yeah, that looks like the right amount of iron that we have remaining, maybe. Somewhere around there anyway. I think we're also doing like steel cast plates or something. Alright, so we're going to need a lot of iron wire. So let's... How are we going to get this? So we can balance this by going down to 10 a minute for the inputs, and then having 6 constructors for it. So let's do that. And let's fit that in over here, just so we use all of our space. No point sprawling out completely unnecessarily. Alright, so we get a nice space here. And we pop in Blueprint Designer. And let's get constructors. Can we fit 6 constructors in a blueprint? 1, 2, 3. No, we can't. So we're just gonna have to go with 3. And what's the number here gonna be? It's gonna be 10 divided by 12.5 times 22.5. So it's 18. Right, so then these all go in. And it gets a splitter, which comes back there. And splits all of those. And then we merge them all up. And we're going to need a lot of machines for this. And then there's also going to be one that's just going to be Mark IV belts along the main path. And we stretch those out a little bit so that they connect up. And we need a power cable. So that goes in. All these hook up to it. And that is as much as we can do here. So this is iron wire, and it's 30 iron ingots to, what's 18 times 3? 54, I think. So let's just do that. And then place these in and figure out how much we need. Alright, so it's going to be something like this. And we want to place it, I guess, probably just back here. So something like that. And then, how many of these? This is, I'm just going to confirm that. Yes, 18 times 3 is 54. So if this batch makes 54 wire, then 10 of these would make 540 wire, which is conveniently 6.6 more wire than we need. So we need 10 of these. So that's one. And how do we get them to line up? 2. Get these to line up. 3. Alright, we're going to need a lot of space over this way. So let's place all those foundations in. And then this is 4. Five, so we're halfway there. 6. And then we have to send these foundations even further. Yeah, this is a big line here. So that's 7, I think. And 8. I don't know how that got all the way back there. 9. And one more. And then we go, this one is 10. And then this is 540. So we have 6.6 repeating left over, which means we need to subtract each of these by 2.2. Right, 6.666 divided by 3 is 2.2. So then, 18 minus 2.22222 is 15.7778. 15.777. So then we paste that to these last 3. And, oh. Shoot, that's not good. The thing I was worried about happened, and they were too close and didn't auto-snap. Which means we're going to have to reassemble all of these. So take that out, pop that back in. It's fine. It's not that big of a hassle. I mean, still better than building the entire thing from scratch, right? So let's just keep going along. And keep dismantling these. And we're making pretty good progress. Alright. Should be just a couple more. And yeah, I think this one should be the last one. Alright, so then, in order for these to hook up, we need a splitter every other one here, which connects them up to 60 speed belts. And then that one. And I just realized that this last one is technically all one speed balance, so these actually need to be accounted. So it need to go plus 1.11111. I think it's going to be 16.8 repeating. Yes, 16.8 repeating for these last 6. I hit the wrong button. So we get those. And then we get these. And then these ones are normal. Alright, now we just have to hook all of these up. So those go across. And that is another one. That's another one. And that's another one. Alright, now we just need to set up the line here, which will be plenty off of a single belt of iron. Alright, so then those need... So these need to be smart splitters, and then they need to go into a Mark 1 belt. Alright, then this goes along. Alright, so now we have all those. We can put these smart splitters in all of these spots, and then run the belt along. So then this one we built first, and we built it a little closer than the rest of them. So let's make sure that it goes there. And it's a smart splitter, jeez. Alright. Then we run the Mark 1 belts to make sure they all get the right speeds of everything. And one more. Alright. Then finally, I don't know why I'm running back, I can attach these along with the Mark 4 belts, which are the main line, and that one. Now these need to get iron ingots, which we cleverly placed up here. Alright, that's fine. So this can just run backwards. and then in there. Alright, so then that is that all set up. So we have wire. We have steel, and we have maybe a little bit more iron left. So next up are the plates, which I think we did steel. We're doing steel cast plate with the remaining iron and the steel, or at least some of the steel. And that's going to be 15 per minute per foundry, so we want 4 foundries in a batch there. We're getting all of the mileage possible out of speed balancing this stream. So then we have the remaining iron ingots from all the way down there, which are being technically some of this is manifolds and not balancers, but it's like very minimal, and I'm fine with it. So we need to get some steel and some iron to make some plates. Now I think I want to bring the steel over and do this on the other side of that, just for space saving sake. Because we have some horizontal space over this way that we may as well use for the plates. And I think we're just going to shortcut underground for this one. So that goes there and comes out here. Alright, then we're going to need access to down there. So we go down here and build that foundation along. Then this just goes across like so. Alright. So now we have steel there. We have iron over here, I guess. So this is going to be what remains of the iron. And I guess we're going to bring this around the wire production. Leave some space so that if we do need to do fun things with the wire, which we definitely will, we have some room for it. Alright, for some reason straight mode has decided to be a little weird, so we're going to go back to curve mode to get it lined up properly. And now this is over here. So, plates. We need 266.667 plates. So let's get a blueprint designer and try to make a nice little foundry area for that. This needs to be expanded like maybe one more. You might technically be able to fit the blueprint designer in, but this will make it easier. Alright, so that goes in. And now we have to make some foundries. So we get 1, 2, 3, and 3 is all we're going to be fitting in one of these. So let's see here. If we want to use these at full speed, then we would need to fit 4 in, which seems difficult. But if we just bring these down to, what is it, 30? Yes, so if we set these to that, then this already works as a batch of 30. And then we're going to need to do the whole splitter thing. Put that in. Actually, wait. We already have... Let's load up this, because it's all set up for this exact purpose. And then we just need to swap that to steel cast plate, 30 a minute. And paste the settings over. And I think that's literally it. Yeah, I think that's all. And then, so we call this steel cast plates. And it's 30 iron, 30 steel, to 90 plates. Alright, so then we get those started up. And get them rotated right, like that. And actually, let's use all of this horizontal space over this way. Alright, so then that, we can put this starting here. Starting out the same sort of y-axis type thing as the other one. Let's move it back another notch, just because we do need to set this up slightly differently. Yeah, actually we need to change the blueprint, because this isn't a full load balance set, it's just a half. So we need to take the actual speed balancer itself out and do that manually afterwards. So all of this part has to come out. And what we are left with is just this part, which is the important part. And let's get rid of that splitter since it's not needed. Alright, so then we have this. We save that and clear it. Alright, so then we get this in. There's a random thing over there. Conveyor pole, which I do not need. That's fine. Not going to cause any harm, really. Alright, so how many of these do we need? So this is 90. So 3 of these is going to be 270, which will be enough. I mean, calling this speed balancing is sort of a bit of a stretch, to be honest. But that's fine. So we get those. And those. Alright, so then we need to attach these up. So the first two get that splitter, which connects them. Then we have to do the same thing for the second floor. So these two get that splitter, which connects them up. Apparently we're using curve belts this time. And then... Okay, I didn't quite do this right, but it's fine, I think. We can fix this. So then that goes up there. So that goes in there. That goes up there. And then these two go forwards and right overflow. And then the overflow comes along this way. And then this overflow comes along the same way. And how is that too steep? It's literally straight. Alright, so then this comes along and goes in there. Alright, so then that is 270 wire, so this last one needs to be 1.11 less. So 28.8 repeating. Or yes, 28.8 repeating. That's correct. So then we set those. And that is the plates. Alright. Let's go up to a second floor. No, actually we're very close to dealing with the rest of the iron. Which, speaking of which, we do need to... Wait, no. The rest of the steel is what I mean. So this is the steel belt, right? Because we need to use the rest of the steel to make rods. So this is the steel belt, and it is going to have plenty of leftovers. So we need to split it off. Probably just back here would be most convenient. So this split goes in. Alright, why is this last one just not connected? That seems wrong. Let's fix that. I don't know how that happened. Alright, so then that goes there. And this is going to be left overflow. And we're going to need all this space here. And can we speed balance rods? Steel rod production is going to be what, 10 to 40? So then it would be 6 of those per batch. Yeah, we can do that. I think we have a 3 constructor balance blueprint. So let's grab that. What was it? Iron wire, I think. So we load that up. Yep, it's 3 constructors. So we'd set this to steel rods. And 40. Then we paste the settings. And we paste the settings. And right, this was the one that was a little bit messed up on the auto connecting. So if we can just make those just as tiny as physically possible, hopefully that will let it work. So then this is 30 to 120 rods, right? Alright. Steel rods. 30 steel ingots to 120 rods. Alright, so we have that. Then we dismantle that. And we can put this in. So please don't be in auto connect mode and connect up to something random. Instead, just be in regular mode. And oh, this is backwards. I wondered why they looked funny. Alright, so then those go there. And we need 320 rods. This makes 120. So 3 of these batches is going to make 360. And we'll have to cut 40 off. That's fine. So let's just get those in. And that one. Alright, so then we get that splitter and that splitter. So that connects the near 2. Then this is, no, it's left any center overflow. And it brings the steel, let's see, lined up there, and then lined up there. And then so that goes in like that. And then this last one needs to be 40 short, right? So let's see, we have 240 from the other ones, and we need to get another 80. So these are all going to be 80 divided by 3. Control C, Control V, Control V. Alright, so that is the rods done. Alright, we are getting there. Although I don't really love how I've done this. There's going to be a relatively large amount of buffering needed for all of these to work. Not a huge amount I can do about that now, unfortunately. And let's see, this steel, this is more than a full belt of steel, right? But I never dealt with that in any way. So this is 588 steel ingots. So let's grab the last little bit on this side. Or actually, no, these are all going to line up nicely, right? So that's 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420, 480. And then that's going to be 60. And then this is just 108 between these last two. So let's split that off. Send that out. And have it go in to do all of those things. And then this can go up and over it. And around this way. Let's see. Something like that. And then come along this way. And meet up with this. Alright, so let's call this a smart splitter with left any center overflow. And then merge it up with that. And so now this should be the one belt with the rest of the iron on it. Or steel, rather. Gosh, I'm getting tired already. It's not a good sign. Yeah, I think this probably would have been better if I worked backwards. I don't know. The thing is, the numbers get weird either way. Like, the numbers are just intrinsically awkward numbers for this. Alright, so how is this all going? So if we look at our checklist, we have wire, we have plates, we have rods. So then the next thing up is reinforced iron plates. And I think we're going to go up to a second floor for that. It doesn't need to be a tall second floor. We don't have to overlap with those refineries back there. Just something like this. As long as it's tall enough to get over the constructors and foundries, then we're fine. So let's make this floor and we're going to expand the floor out. And I don't know how much we need to cover immediately, but let's start bringing the resources that we haven't fully used up. So we've fully used the coal. Let's see, this is the steel. And these are the rods. Alright, so the rods can go up here. Does that line up properly? No, we need one more foundation over here for these to go up into. And like that. Alright, so that is that. So that's rods. We're just going to bring all the resources we haven't fully used up to the next floor so that we can ignore all of the rest of the mess, all the machines and stuff, and just see what matters. Alright, so then that goes up. And that's the steel. Then we have this, which is the wire. And we're going to need to bring up multiple belts of this because we have 533 of it. So what's 480 divided by 18? It's not an even number. Great. So we have then 100. Hang on. We have 53.333 minus 480. Oh, 533. So 53.333 wire left over at the end above the 480. So that's 18 there, 36 there, 54 there. Alright, hang on. Yeah, my brain... I'm definitely tired today. I didn't sleep well last night. My brain is not quite operating at 100% at the moment. So is it these last couple? No, these last couple are going to... No, I think this is right. So if we take these last 6, 16.8888 times 6 is 101. That seems wrong. Yeah, my brain is actually just fried today. Alright, I think I know another more convenient way of doing this. And it's just with priority mergers. So we can just get to some spot, like, halfway along, right? And then we cut that out. And bring them up here. Yeah. Alright, so then we do that. Then these go up. Like that. And then the other one goes up over here, as usual. Alright, bring that one more. And it goes up. Alright, so now we have these two, which are both half-ish. And what we need to do is we need to just set up a little bit of a merging thing. So this can go over this way. I don't know why it says clipping. Definitely isn't any clipping concerns there. Alright, so then that comes along there. That comes along there. So we need some space here. Alright, let's actually take that out. And you get a smart splitter. So center any left overflow. Then we get a priority merger there, which takes priority from the right. Alright, so now we have these two belts, and this one will put as much into this, so both of these will put as much into this as needed to fill it. Then once this is saturated, the excess from this belt will go into this one, so it should be the remaining bit. Alright, so that's the wire. Actually, I'm tired enough that I should probably label this stuff. I might get distracted otherwise. So these two get labels, and they're labeled as wire and yes, 53.333. And then this is 480. Alright, so now I don't have to worry about remembering that. It'll just tell me. Alright, so then we go over here. And this is the iron plates, which are all going to fit on a single belt, which is convenient. This goes over here. And then up. Alright, that does line up. I think that snaps in. And then we just put that. Oh, does it say it's clipping because it's coming out of that? Yeah, that's it. Alright, so then we can put that sign in there, and this is going to be plates and just the whole batch. Alright, if I get rid of a 6 or 2, will that make it sized less weirdly? No, it's just sized weirdly for no apparent reason. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so plates, check. Wire, check. What is this? That's more wire. This is all just belt stuff. This is rods. So we can put the sign in. And rods, 320. Alright, so we have plates, rods, wire. And we still need steel ingots for the pipes, right? And that's what this one is. So you get one of these and your steel ingots, and I have no idea. It's some number. We're probably going to have to return to that at some point in the future to balance it properly. We're going to have to like put speed limiters on all those belts so that they give the right number or do something. But I have no idea how much steel we have left. But hopefully it's going to be enough to make some steel pipes. And I need 280 steel pipes, which means 420 steel ingots are going to that. Is that right? Do I have 420 steel ingots left? Alright, so this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus what is it? What is that? 6.6 9.666 times 3 plus 20. So where was I? That's 10, 20, 30, 60. So this is 80 rods. So this is 80 ingots here for the rods. So let's mark that actually. And I don't know, maybe we can do something with it later to fix it. So that's 80, which means there's 508 steel ingots going to other things. And it also means that that connection there is gonna be okay. Yeah, okay. Then we have this goes under here and into all of this, which is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then are all of these 9.63? Weird ass numbers. Alright. 9.63 times 3 plus 60 is 88.888. So that is how much this is. So this is steel ingots and it is 88.888. Now 88.888 plus 80 is 168. So 588 minus 168 is 420, which is the correct amount, actually. Alright. Hooray for math. We didn't manage to break it. So this is 420. Nice. And so then we have the rods, which... What are the rods going for? Is that a modular frame? Yes. So that's for the modular frame recipe. Then the reinforced iron plates are also going for that. And is that going to be approximately correct? Yeah, probably. Just eyeballing it, it's technically going to be 0.53. Yeah, so that's all right. It's just basic modular frame recipe, and then heavy modular frames, heavy encased frames. So we have the steel pipes we're going to make. Modular frames we're going to make. Encased industrial beams and concrete. Alright, so we're getting pretty close. So the next thing is, I guess we should do the concrete next. We might actually want water for that. Let's see. Limestone. Yeah, we're definitely doing the wet concrete alt, you can tell, because the ratio isn't awful. So we're going to have to get that done. And how many refineries is that? We need 180. It would be nice if I could just squeeze it in here. And I should probably be able to. So if it's 180 each, if it's 180 total, we want to underclock that like that for it to work. And then it would be 3. which is extremely manageable. And actually, I have... No, those come in batches of 2s, don't they? Right, let's check over here. Yeah, those come in batches of 2s. We want this to be in a batch of 3, so we're just going to place it down normally. And how do we want this to be facing? Are we going to have the space facing it this way? Yes, we are. Cool. It's going to be a bit cramped. It's definitely going to be just a little bit cramped. So then these all are wet concrete. And actually the balancing works out better if we do it 80 plus 80 plus 20. Because then we can just do a natural speed balance on Mark II belts. So let's go there. Yeah, this is obviously like the ideal case. So that's a Mark II belt, that's a Mark II belt. And then that just goes in like that. And then this comes across. Actually, interestingly, 270 limestone is exactly a Mark III belt. So I guess we'll just do that, which works out nicely. Alright, so that is that. And now we just need to get the water in, which is going to be a lot of water, because this is not very water efficient. We also need this space for it to slope down. So that's just one past the mark. Like that. And I hope this doesn't need to be a Mark II pipe just for this. Let's see, that's going to be 100. No, it's not. We're going to be fine with the Mark I pipes here. Which isn't a huge difference, but because I had placed it like this, it means I don't have to change it, which is nice. Alright, now let's get this. Just sneak it down under there. Now where is the water? There it is. Alright, so then that goes along there. And now we just have to merge up the concrete. So there, there, and there. And these can be Mark III belts, because we need 180 of it in total. Not going to worry about finding out exactly how much each of these can handle. Alright, so that is the concrete. And let's just bring it over there before bringing it up. Alright. Don't use straight mode for inclines. It works very badly. Alright, then this just goes like that. And then we just ramp it up and in. Alright. So now we get up here. We pop that out. And we put on the sign saying this is concrete and there's 180 of it. Alright, is this everything? I think this is everything. I think the iron has all been used. Probably. I don't know. I think the concrete is up here. The wire is up here. The plates are up here. So let's... The next thing is going to be the steel pipes. And then the encased industrial beams off of those. Alright, so steel pipes. Right, it's better to type steel because there is a billion different things called pipes. It's 30 steel ingots a minute, so it is just a very easy... Do I have a constructor blueprint that's just 2? No, I don't. I guess I'll make one. It's gonna be common-ish enough. Like, just barely common enough to be worth doing, I think. Alright, so we get constructors. And it is 1, 2... Actually, we want more space. We want more space in the front. Alright, then we get a splitter, which goes there and there. Then we have the smart splitter, which goes across. And just like that, right? That's all there is to it. Call this steel pipes. Copy, paste the settings. And put in a power pole. Alright, now we just hook up the back end, which is just going to be merger and merger. Okay, we're gonna be worried about the auto-connecting again, unfortunately. Not much I can do about that, but just be careful. And so then this is 60 steel ingots to 40 steel pipes. Steel pipes, 60 ingots to 40 pipes. Save that. Clear it. Alright, now we can just start putting these in. And we need 280 pipes, so that's going to be, what, 7 of these? So let's put you in. 1. Alright, is this working? Yes. Alright, I technically put this in backwards, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be fine either way. 2. We have more than enough space to just move the stuff around. That's 3. And that's 4. So now we just need to expand this out to get the last 3 of those blueprints in. Alright, then these. Five. And 6. And 7. Alright, I think that's that. So now we just connect these all across. And this comes along this way, and oh, the whole thing is backwards. That's slightly more annoying, but still not annoying enough to be worth like dismantling the entire thing and doing it again. So we just run this along there and then around, or not. Alright, it really just wants to do that, doesn't it? Maybe it's a straight mode problem. Yeah, default mode works fine. Alright. So that is that. Steel pipes have been made. Wait. Did I just... Hang on. Encased industrial beams. Encased industrial pipes. We need 10 times this. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I did the math wrong. That's frustrating. I was looking at this, and I just wrote down 40 steel pipes, 33.33 concrete. But this is actually, obviously, a tenth of what I need, because I need 66 encased industrial beams, not 6.6. So I need 400 steel pipes and 333 concrete, which means, like, all the numbers are wrong. Alright. That's incredibly frustrating. I guess I'll make the modular frames... I'll make the modular frames and the... Hang on. Heavy modular frames. Encased frames. Yeah, so I just didn't multiply the 6.667 by 10 like I needed to. Which I remember to do for everything else, but not that one. Alright, so we're going to need to make more encased industrial beams. And let's see here. Yeah, so I'll make the modular frames and then get everything set up as if it were going to be put together, and then we're going to have to worry about upscaling all of the steel and concrete, which we will do later. Actually, I've been talking for a while about how I want just an encased industrial beam factory. I might just build that like next to this and just siphon off some of the extras from it to keep this one running. You know, just build it instead of exactly how many I need for the 10 times. I'll build, you know, more than that. And send the extras over here, so it'll still have 2 functional factories in the end. But God, that's an infuriating error. So yeah, all of this is going to be wrong now. So let's make the modular frames. Reinforced iron plates. We're doing stitched. So we need to take... What, it's going to be 10? Yeah, so it's going to be a 10-to-1 splitter, except... Alright, no, I can do this. I can do this, I think. It's going to be very tricky on the wire end, because I can't put 533 on a single belt, but I think I know how to do it. We're going to need to 2-to-2 balance these, and then put them into 1-to-5 splitters, but it should be possible. So let's do that now. So we have 2 belts here. Each one of them has to go and split, and they each split into 2 belts. So we have that. Alright, then we just take the inner two of these and we merge them together. Alright, that is one. Then we take the outer two of these and we merge them together, and that is the other. Alright, so now each of these has half of the wire. Exactly. And now we can just put those into 1 to 5 balancers and get our 10 pipes. Actually, wait. Is that? Okay. Those are going to be overclocked. So we could bring it down to 4 and do the old classic 1 to 20 splitter. Which, I don't know. I have a good amount of power shards. It's probably just 1 power shard per, right? Yeah, so it's just 1 power shard first. So that's going to be 10 power shards, which will make it nice and convenient. And we need to get them into batches of 10 anyway, so that's fine. So let's get a nice big space over here. And where is our 1 to 5 balancer? Here it is. So let's see, you go in, and then we put in another one. So then those go there, and now we have 10 belts of wire. And we're going to need 10 assemblers for this, which I guess we'll start over here. I might actually leave that space just in case we need to route some belts through it. And leave a good amount of space there just for other stuff. Alright, so these all go across there. 2, 3, 4. I should set these to power shard and 8 a minute. And then we copy paste all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so then the plates need to get over here, which I think we're just going to do via the old-fashioned logistics floor, which we're going to have to build, but hopefully it'll fit. So all of those get floor holes, and those don't need to be Mark 4, they can be just Mark 1. So these all go in. Like that. Alright, so now with those in, we can place these belts and be sure we're not going to accidentally clip over them. So those all go in. Yeah, so now it's getting a little bit tricky, and I really wish that conveyor poles didn't stay after you dismantled it. Like, that's literally never been what I've wanted. I don't know, maybe it's been what I wanted, like, literally once. Alright. Then we just need to connect these last few over. And then one more. Get around the lift and in. That doesn't clip. It technically clips, but who cares? Alright. So that is that. Then we have to drop down here. And, ooh, this is not a huge amount of space. The foundries are pretty tall, but we can fit the logistics floor over on this side, right? Where are the plates? Did I not bring the plates up? Where did the plates go? Plates, plates, plates. Where are... Oh, no. This is them over here, I guess. Yeah, okay. So... we need to go, like, over here. And then... build this floor here. So because this is elevated, we can at least get over that and save some space that way. And then we go over this way. Okay, because that's what we're doing, this doesn't actually need to go up to this floor. It can actually just loop around up to this. Like that. And then we're going to need a 1 to 5 balancer over this way. Something like that. And then another one over this way. Alright, the auto connection is trying to do something terrible there. Let's not have that happen. And then this is all on a single belt, so we can just simply put it through like that. And, oh, we're going to need to upgrade these belts, and we're going to need to do that on the other one as well. And how much output is this actually? Well, this is 270-ish. So it's going to be like 130. And then each of these are going to be not much at all. Yeah, so this should be fine with just the main ones in here being upgraded. Alright, so we have that. Now we just need to put these conveyor lifts in, and they need to stay up there so that they're out of the way of the foundries. Alright, and then the last two, I think we're going to have to, like, go around or something like that. Alright, so then these all just go up and into that. Alright, then these last two are going to need to take a bit of a journey over this way to get a good angle on it. And then they come around. And then they go up and in. Alright, so that is the reinforced iron plates assembled. So then we take those, combine them up with the rods, and make the modular frames. So these are the rods over here. And the default modular frame recipe is 2 per minute. And we need 53 of them, or 53.3. So if we did that, we would need 100 of them. Which, obviously, I don't really want to do that. Now, if I made this... what would it be? 1.066? Repeating, obviously. Then that would be halfway clocked. So it would be... what, 50 of them? Gosh, this is actually going to be a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Yeah, this is not going to be easy to split out, is it? Alright. I'm going to have to think about how we're going to do that. So, if we just do it like this, at 2 a minute, then 53.3 divided by 2 is 26.6. So even then, we're going to need like 20 of them. And that is a bit of a problem. So even if we do it like this, we're going to need like 20 of them. So what we need to do is make it so that it speed balances well. So if I make this, what is it going to be? 1.6 repeating. Then we get 10 iron rods and 2 reinforced iron plates. And so that would just be, what, 32 total? Because we need 320 iron rods and it's 10 per. So it would be 32 total, and we can do a speed balance on the rods of 6 machines per Mark 1 belt. And then for the reinforced iron plates, I think we can do a speed balance 2.5 times, what's it going to be, like 25? Is 24 is 60? Alright, that is awful. I don't really want to make a 1:24 splitter. I might have to. I mean, it's not going to be hard, right? Because it's just like a 3... No, it's going to be a 2, and then a 2 to get 4, and then another 2 to get 8, and then a 3 to get 24. So that's actually not awful. And we can speed balance the rod, so that's easy. And then we're just going to have to 1 to 10 the modular frames that we make off of this. Alright. Let's start, I guess. Actually, can we help with the fact that that there are 10 of these in any way? Hang on, reinforced iron plates. So, no, wait, modular frames is what I'm trying to make. So, we're producing these in batches of 8. And if we make this like this, then that's not helpful. But the rods work nicely. If we go full speed, though, then if we take 3 batches of... No, that doesn't help. No, I think we're just going to merge them all up and then do a giant splitter. Seems simpler. This whole factory is kind of a mess. Like, there's so many things going wrong. The encased industrial beams being the biggest one by far, of course. But we should just about be able to manage this. Alright, and then all of this just needs to be... There are 80 of these, so we technically need it to be a Mark II belt on the merger. Alright, so then this belt becomes Mark II and runs all along. And a couple more. Alright, so now we have this belt of 80. And just confirm... Oh, no, wait. Did I do the math wrong? Oh, no, because it's 60, and then we have the 20 left over. So that is actually not ideal. So wait, what if we go... Because there's going to be 32 of them, right? Oh, so it's just an 80 to 32 splitter. That gets us 2.5 each. Alright, just a 1 to 32 splitter. Easy, no problem. Alright, where are we going to do this? Let's see, this is room here, I guess. Or we could put it somewhere else. I think this space is a good spot for it, because the rods are over there, right? It's not terribly far from either of them. Alright, the good news is that the 1 to 32 splitter, once it's made, is going to look very cool. Which is always the second most important part. The most important part is having it be functional, which we've already failed. But, you know. Alright, so we have our belt that's going to come in, you know, somewhere like here. We want this to be centralized. Alright, so this is 1 to 2. That's 1. And that's 2. Alright, I'm gonna put the splitters in actually first, rather than putting belts in everywhere. Just building with splitters first is helpful. Alright, so that's 1 to 2. And then that's 1 to 4. And... Alright, I do think I need to put the belts in for this. At least the belt's going this way. So those all do that. Now I need to split all of these in two to make it 1 to 8. So let's put in a splitter and a splitter and then 2 splitters here. And we're already going to have enough space for the belts here. We're which is something we're gonna have to keep in mind later. We might not. Alright, so then these go out like that. And, okay, apparently don't have the space for the belts here. Yikes. And then we get that one and that one. Now we need to sort this mess out. Which... Can we just... Is there any way of making these take up less space? No, it doesn't seem like it. Alright. Lesson learned, you need more than one splitter wide in order to fit these in. So let's just move this out. Actually, I think I've realized an easy way of building this is going to be to work backwards. So we have the 32 belts, and then we just keep putting the splitters in to combine them down to one. Rather than constantly having to find more space, we'll constantly be using less space. So that is probably better. So let's take all of that apart and head over here somewhere. And start putting belts in. And they need to go the other way because this is the way that they're going to eventually be facing. And I think this is actually a situation where conveyor poles are useful. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Alright, so those are our 32 belts. So next up, we need the splitters to go into them. And that's going to look something like that. Alright, but this is too close. So the belts have to... Or the splitters maybe can be further back. No, they're always going to take up that space. Alright, so then this needs to be another 32 across, and then we use every other pole, I guess. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Alright. Now we put this in. And we go to there. And there. And then, okay, we actually don't need to use all of these, right? So we can go like there, and we're going to need these to line up. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge mess. So then, because then that can use those two. So that's like 4 out of 6 that we're using, which is pretty good. Alright, then the next one has to be like... Hang on. Is it that one? No, but because that just barely clips. Annoying. Which means that we do have to skip that one. And use those two. And I guess we can just continue that pattern. And I think it's marginally less efficient, but we have the space blocked out, so who cares? Looks pretty neat, at least. Yeah, so that one goes there, and okay, I think we're not going to use the last one on the other end, which is fine. So then we go to that one and grab those two. And then that one for those two. And once this first part is done, they'll be all very well spaced out. We won't have to worry about it. So that's nice. So there we go. Just gotta keep doing these. And how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're almost halfway there already. This is going to be pretty quick then. That one. Sort of hard to tell which one you're supposed to go to, though. Alright, there's another 2. And there. And we just keep on placing. Alright, couple more. We are really approaching the end now. So that one goes to there and there. That one goes there and there. And that one goes there and there. Alright, did we do the math right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Alright, so this is a 16 to 32. So now we just put in a splitter every other one. And then merge them up. Alright, so those and that. Alright, so then those go in like that. And that. And we just drag these all the way along. Alright, so now we have... What is it going to be? This is going to be an 8 to 32. So next we have to split these ones down. So just do the same thing where we just put a splitter every other. So that's 1, 2, that's 1, 2, that's 1, 2, and that's 1 and 2. So now we combine these along. And do those ones. And those ones. Alright. Almost there. So now we put a splitter there. And a splitter there. So that one connects up those two. This one connects up those two. And then finally, we get the last one, which is going to have to go along this way. It's long enough that it's going to require an additional thing. And there we go. And all of those can be Mark 1 because this is 80, so after the first split there, it'll be 40 and 40. And this is sort of a crazy looking contraption that we've made here. Alright, so then we have that. Now we just need to put in the 32 assemblers, which are probably going to be even larger across than this, unless this happens to line up perfectly, which I don't think it does. So let's grab a whole giant keeping a space. This is going too far back. It's a little bit wasteful of concrete, but concrete is probably not going to be a serious issue for the foreseeable future. Alright, so yeah, this is wider than those belts. So we are going to need to push this quite a ways back in order to fit 32 of these in. And let's push it over to the side. And that's 1, 2. We should... No, it's not stitched plates. This is modular frames. And it's 1.666. So that's the 2.5 and 10 that we were expecting. Good. Copy, paste. So now we just have to put down like a bajillion of these. And then hope that we can get the stuff into them. So I think we're going to use a logistics floor for the speed balancer. Alright, so this is, how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is less than half. Oh god. Hello? I was hitting the 7 button and the foundations weren't showing up. I feel like I've had that exact problem before. I think my 7 key is just not completely perfect. Alright, so let's expand this row out a little bit. Need to expand that out as well. Now, I think I want to use as much of this space in here as I can. And these are all set, right? Yeah, cool. Because these are going to be closer to the belts, which should help all the branching over. So this just goes over this way. Okay, and we might be able to fit one of these in, but we also might not. So let's see. This would be the second to last one, and it's going to go, I don't know, like, it's actually going to be, I think we need to move these further back, like, a lot. At least another couple of tiles, possibly another lot of tiles. So let's place the foundations, because currently the belts are going in at such a steep angle that they're gonna inevitably cut each other off. Alright, so let's build that out. And then this can go back probably all the way to there. So let's then get rid of all of these assemblers and use that new row, which is further back, so it should be easier to get into. Alright, so all of these get dismantled. And then we have to head over here and start placing these in. So let's try to count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're at 21 right now. And that's 22. Haven't lost the recipe is in there. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Just a couple more. And then we go 30, 31, 32. And yep, as I expected, even this is going to be a bit brutal on the belts. So this has to come out, I think, as far this way as it can without cutting off this one, which it barely avoids. So then this one come up around this way and go in there. And then this one can come along here and then go in. All right. this one can come along there and in. Alright, this should be fine. Shouldn't have any serious problems with these. There, and then in. We're just going to have to keep dragging these belts, and it's going to take a good while. Because we have to place 32 of these. Each of them has to be, like, reasonably accurate. Not immensely so, but at least a little bit. So that goes in. We are getting to the point where we're no longer too far to the right and we're about to be too far to the left. Which happens a bit sooner than I would have liked. I would have liked it to be roughly centralized, but didn't really have the space to do much about that. Alright, that one is actually just straightforward. Wonderful. And now, I guess, we should probably start working from the other end in. So this has to come basically just straight over this way and keep going straight over this way like a billion miles. So as it turns out, 32 machines is a lot of machines. Alright, so then this also has to go all the way over this way. It's just hilarious how far they have to go. Oh, I almost fell. With the power of jetpack, I'm not going to spend 15 minutes plummeting to my death. I can just save myself. Alright, so we just have to work inwards like this until we hopefully just finish. Alright, then this has to turn somewhere around there. Alright, not too bad. We still have to figure out what we're doing about the encased industrial beams. So that's going to be next stream, is going to have to look, see if we can just squeeze in the additional production in this factory, or if we are going to have to add a whole second factory for it. Which I'd really rather not do. Well, honestly, I don't know. I don't know which one I would prefer. Having the heavy modular frame factory and the encased industrial beam factory be, like, linked would be a little strange, but it wouldn't cause any problems. I've never said that I can't do that. So and like, we're gonna have to make so many encased industrial beams that we may as well set up the entire factory while we're at it, right? Is my thinking. Like, however many we make, may as well make 10 more and have that factory done as well. Alright, so that. And just gotta keep going like this until, yeah, hopefully we don't run out of space. We should have left enough space, but you never know. So we just have to keep going. The belts should be getting shorter though, which is a plus because we're getting closer. So that goes like that, and this side of the belt is incredibly nasty to look at. I feel like at some point in the future, maybe the next couple of streams, we're going to try to fix this, make this factory look nice, at least make it look slightly less terrible. Currently, it looks pretty bad. Alright, so that goes in there. I'm surprised we're still going like this. I mean, we're going so far off to this side still. The other side wasn't like this at all. Alright, so we're gonna just keep on going here. The nice thing is that when you have a giant task like this, where it seems like, you know, it's going to take ages to make any progress, because it doesn't feel like each individual step is making progress, the amount of progress you have made always winds up being a bit of a pleasant surprise. Ah, gee, I didn't realize I was like halfway done already, that sort of thing. Alright, now we're doing pretty well. So we're already past that point. That's the point where I was lining all of my belts up to previously, and now it's just not even there anymore. So just a couple more of these, and then we will have the modular frame part of this whole thing done. And alright, we have managed to run ourselves out of iron plates of all things. That's a bit surprising. I mean, I'm getting 120 a minute, right? Like to a second. So I guess not horribly surprising that I run out. I never put a second dimensional depot on them or anything. But it is still a little bit surprising. Definitely just a little bit unexpected to have that problem. Alright, so we can do that, and then go in there. So we can just, as long as we just go slow, I mean, 120 a minute is still pretty fast. And we're also in the shorter part of things where we don't have to go quite as far. Although, for some reason, that requires 18. Like, how is that a longer distance? Because that one only required 16. Oh, because I just went more up the diagonal first? I guess that makes sense. There are two portions of this, and this portion is getting shorter, but that portion is getting a little bit longer. Alright. Well, let's take a quick breather. And so once we have these modular frames done, I think I might turn the factory on just to see, you know, if everything up to this point at least is working. We haven't made the encased industrial beams yet, but we do have the concrete, we do have the steel pipes, we do have modular frames. So we will have everything producing except for the full encased industrial beam batch once this is finished. And that obviously is going to be a while from now. Alright, let's make a couple more of these. And that can go like that. Just 3 more. Then you go like that and in, down to the final 2. Which theoretically should be the shortest of these. But still require a lot of plates. Gosh, running out of iron plates. Who would have thought? I guess when you basically cover the entire ground with Mark I belts, it's not terribly surprising that you use a lot of iron plates. We should go hunting for Mercer spheres at some point, get all those upgrades, and then once we're at 240 iron plates a minute, stuff like this shouldn't really be an issue anymore. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that is all of those. Now, I think... let's start powering this up. Obviously, it's not a finished factory. Normally don't power on unfinished factories, but in this case I'm going to, because we do have some manifold adjacent stuff in here that I would like to get filling. So let's grab one of these train stations, I guess. Grab a power line, bring it up, and start attaching. So these ones never got blueprinted. Also, I never unlocked powerful Mark IIIs somehow. I need to do that at some point. Alright, so then this comes along here. And these all power on. That one is going to need to be upgraded just because it sort of wound up in an awkward spot. Then all of these go across and start making our iron. Alright, then we take that pole out. And we start making, what is this, steel probably? Yeah, this is going to be the steel. And we get that one. Then we go make these, which are, I think, the rods. And then we have to go over here for, what even are these? What is this? That's the wire, right? Alright, so now all of these power up. And we do have iron starting to move around on the belts. Good sign. Things are starting up, at least bit by bit. So we just bring the wire all the way along. And all of those are set up. Alright, then we need to get these machines attached in. So where's the power pole? There's a power pole. So those are attached. Then we bring it across to those and those. Alright, I think that is the entirety of floor 1. So now we go up to floor 2. And start attaching these guys up. Did I set these wrong? Yes, I didn't put the proper settings in for those. That's going to need to be fixed, obviously. Alright, so these are left any center overflow, which I still have copied from last time apparently. So now we just run along, set that to all of these. Alright, so that is those. Alright, now we need to power on these. And then finally the gigantic row of modular frame machines. And then we're going to have to figure out why so many of these don't seem to be doing anything. Whether it's just a relatively long boot up time, or if something is actually wrong. Alright. There's definitely steel going around, though, which is encouraging. Alright, so then we bring this along here. Oh, and these haven't been attached to the rods yet. So I'm going to have to do that real quick. Also that needs to do that, and then start grabbing those. Not the greatest power line situation in history. Alright, then we keep powering those up. Let's get another power line. And keep on adding power. And then we have to head over here, get another one, and keep going. There's so many needed for this. It is insane. Oh, put one too many on that. I need another power line. Off you go. And keep going. And then those are all powered up. Alright, so the entire factory is powered up. Now we need to add the rod line across all of these, which is going to be a bit annoying. So let's see here. It's going to be 1 to 6, right? But yeah, no, let's do this on a logistics floor. It's going to be way easier. So we start by putting in all of these floor holes. And this really is just going to take ages. Hopefully by the time I'm done with this, I'll see some reinforced iron plates. Or something is wrong. That one was placed wrong. And keep going. Boop-boop-boo. Just have to place all of these. And then return with the belts, and then yeah, this is a whole gigantic process. So we do this, then that jump sent me flying real fast for some reason. But we just keep on going. Almost done with the floor holes, which are in a way the hard part because you gotta kind of line them up. The lifts, by contrast, that just sort of snap in. Alright, so then all of these go along. And just keep placing them. Alright. This is relatively quick, fortunately. And this whole system is just a speed balancer, so it's gonna be simple-ish. We are gonna have to get the 1 to 6s in. We have 1 to 5. Ooh, that did not snap in properly. We have 1 to 5, and a 1 to 6 is basically just that, but with the one that loops back on itself, just not doing that. Alright. So that's all that. Now we go down here. And we need to grab a wall, build it like there somewhere. And we do actually need it to be this cramped, unfortunately. Because even like this, we're going to be clipping on the top of those buildings. Alright, so this foundation just keeps going across then. And that's going to be step 1. Step 2 is going to be putting the elevators in. What are they called? Lifts. British people, am I right? Alright, so then... that did not zoop at all. Alright, so then... almost done with this foundation. We're probably going to have to make it wider. But at least it's a start. So now all of these go in. And it's 4:47. We're going to have to hurry to finish this before the end of the stream. Or we might just have to take a pause in the middle of doing it. So let's just do all this. Then the next thing is going to be getting the 1 to 6 splitters in and connecting them up to all of these. All right. So let's see. Is the easiest way to do this just going to be placing this in manually? So the first level of this is every other. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And then the next level is every 3 of those. And then they'll all be set up. So we're just going to have to do that. And link all of these in. Alright. Running along. We'll probably finish at least this part, this stream, as long as I'm quick about it. Nothing we're doing here is hugely time consuming. Alright, so we have all those. Next, we need to get back to this side because it's important to have it lined up with this side. And that goes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. Is that right? Yeah, it's 15 batches of 2 plus an additional batch of 2. Yep. Alright. So then we need to actually attach all of these in. And I guess like this. This is how we do this. And have a lot of belts to place, but nothing particularly complicated about it, at least. So we're just filling in this splitter that we set up previously so that it can actually move stuff instead of just being a whole bunch of splitters and lifts. Alright, so we're going along. And gotta be almost there at this point. And I think this is the last one. Yep, this is the last one. Alright, now we go to this one. And it goes there, there, and there. And there. There. And there. So these all hook into 3. And as long as we don't miss any, which would be quite easy to do, this should be almost good to go. We just need to finish this row, then we need to put the fast belt along the side, which is going to have to go here, so let's put foundation there for it. And so then these get splitters, which are going to be smart splitters, of course. And they go there and there. We have to keep running this foundation across. And these keep going in. Just a couple more. And yeah, I think this is the last one. Alright, now these connect across with Mark 1 belts. And I need to be careful not to get myself stuck. So I think placing it first and then going around the side is faster than passing through the middle and turning around. So that, and then this just goes into there. Then these are all still left any center overflow. And then we have to put the fast belts in and connect it all up. Alright, so then that goes along there. And there. And there. And there. And we're done. Alright. So now we just have to hook that up to the rod supply and see if things start moving. So I guess that is going to be somewhere along this line. Just pop you in. And you go in there. You're set, right? Yep. So now I just... Ooh. Alright, that's a bit awkward. Put it there instead. We're going to have to head back and fix it. Then we grab this belt and we bring it all the way over there. And in there. Then we take that out, drop down here, and we just hook this up like that. Alright, and there go the rods. Alright, so that is running. Now it is 4:55. Sorry about that. Quick sneeze. Alright. And there's obviously all sorts of things going wrong with this factory. In particular, this isn't running at all. This isn't getting nearly enough steel. And probably some other stuff too. But I mean, it's 4:55. I think we're going to call the stream there for the day. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. I had a good time. I will be playing Factorio tomorrow. We just started our game yesterday, and it's very confusing, very different from Satisfactory, but just similar enough for me to mostly understand. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check it out. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys then, and bye.